Page 34, Minuet. Another solo piece to play. Minuet and waltzes are very closely related, but you can Google them and read all about them. I'm not going to get into it here. Let's just talk about this piece. These lessons are long enough as it is. I will go through the process I use to learn a piece of music. Let's see what we have. Now at the top they say before playing and while playing and all that. That's wonderful. You want to do that junk, you go right ahead. I'm just going to talk about the piece because I'm lazy. This is 1 page long. It's actually longer than that because of the repeat signs, but there's only a page of music to learn, and that's what I'm after. How much music am I dealing with here? And clef signs are treble and bass. The key signature is 1 sharp. We're in G major, right? Okay. 3/4 time signature, and the hands are playing together, so I'm going to take it one hand at a time. Right hand, little finger here, puts the hand here. And you're not moving around. You don't need any other finger numbers. Don't be reading the finger numbers. You got to know the names of the notes in the music, and you got to remember where your fingers are. It's important. If you just keep reading the finger numbers because it's easier, you're going to set yourself up for a big fail later on, because that doesn't work after a while. So just learn to do it the hard way now, and you're ready. You're good to go. So know where your fingers are, which keys they're on. You may have to look down occasionally to remind yourself. That's okay. It comes over time. You get used to it. But don't read finger numbers other than the one to tell you where to put your hand, and that's it. There's just quarter notes up here. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and. This is the 8th notes. 1 and 2 and. Okay. That's about it for the right hand. Left hand, well, thumb is here. That puts the hand here. And again, you don't need these other finger numbers. The dotted half notes, 3/4 notes, or a whole measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Then we put the hands together and see how it goes. I just want to know which fingers are working together. I don't care about hesitating right now. I just want to know which fingers. It's here. And then here. And then here. Through and I make sure I can play the hands together at some speed. Keep it slow. Then I go back over it and get rid of the hesitations. And I suggest you get into the habit when pieces split up like this isn't that long, but you could start it on this piece anyway, is break the piece up into sections or pieces and learn it a piece at a time. Don't always start at the beginning and try and go through, because you don't always get all the way through. So the beginning ends up being practiced a lot. You get good at it. And then as you get through it, more and more get into it, you get worse and worse. And by the time you get to the end, you can hardly play it. I've heard people perform and do that, where they start out wonderful. And then over a while, it gets to the point they can't play the piece. That's because they practiced it always starting at the beginning and going through. This is in sections. The first 2 lines is a section. So just get the first 2 lines. And then once you have those, set them aside. Don't play them again for a while. Get the second 2 lines and just focus on the second 2 lines. And then once you can play those, then you can go put it all together. You'll still be able to play the first 2 lines. It's okay. You won't forget them that soon. But don't always try and do the whole thing. That is a very inefficient way to practice. When you're learning a new piece of music, don't keep playing what you can already play. Work on what you can't play. Learn that. So once I have the hands together, then I go back over it slowly and carefully, and I get rid of the hesitations. Did I say that already? I'm old. I can't remember. Then I'll add in the articulation. In the left hand, they don't show anything. Just connect these. You don't have to. You could put in just a hair of silence in there if you wanted to. It's more in the mood or the style of this music at this time period, where the default there was to disconnect the notes. It's like when you play a repeated note, you have to, there's a little silence there. Well, put in the same amount of silence in all the others. Yeah, it's in the style of the piece. If this were 100 years later, I'd say connect that left hand. But here, and then right hand staccato, and I'm flexing at the wrist here, and they're short. Now, in the second measure, look out, because this is That's not staccato. Here, the tendency is to, and that's incorrect. Don't play it that way. Get the idea? So I put in the articulation, and then I go back and I add the dynamics. Again, the dynamic given applies to the melody. Everything else is background. Here, the melody's in the right hand. So MF is mezzo forte, is sort of loud. This needs to be soft. So I'm sort of heavy, I'm light here. Now, measure 9, the second section, starts out soft, right here. And the left hand is very soft. And then measure 12, you get the hairpin again. I do it like a beat at a time. 1, louder, louder, I'm here. Something like that. Because in crescendos and decrescendos or whatever, it depends on how long it is as to, I space it out. I plan out these things so I get there when I need to be there and not before something. Then once I have the dynamics in, I'll think about the speed. Andante, remember, this is kind of like a casual stroll. You're just kind of walking along. 2, 2. Somewhere in there, I do it by feel. Yours may be a little faster and slower than mine. I don't care. It's just do it by feel. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You know, exaggerate them if you have to, but just picture people dancing to this 1, 2, 3, 1. Because a lot of times when you're dancing, whether you know it or not, you're dancing to the natural accents. A lot of times. Now the repeat signs makes it twice as long as it looks, because you have a repeat sign at the end of the second line sends you back to the beginning, and then the repeat sign at the end sends you back to measure 9, the reverse repeat sign. So the whole thing is 8 lines long. Well, that's fine. Times in dances, they won't put in a ritardando toward the end of a dance, especially if people are actually dancing to it. You mess them up. Just keep the tempo going right up to the end. It's hard to tell for sure, because in this time period when this was written, a lot of composers did not always put in all the interpretive marks in the music. They left a lot of it up to you. And I don't know how much of these dynamics and articulations the composer actually put in. I haven't seen the manuscript of this, I don't know. But a lot of times it would be up to you in interpreting the music to add a ritardando at the end as part of interpreting it. But again, with a dance, I don't think I would do it too much because it messes up the dancers. Now, once you've learned this well enough that you can play it through at least slowly with no hesitations, let's play it together so you can check your notes and rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs. I will do the repeats, and I'll do the staccatos and jump. Just not dynamics. We're going to go slow too. We're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. I'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, go. 2, repeat. Repeat. Two, three, off.